Yikes, here we are.
Yeah, live.
Hi, Alex.
Hello.
Nice
to see you again.
Okay, we are live. Welcome, everyone. I'm Talia Crone, Editorial Director at Little Brown Spark. Thanks for joining us and Premier Collectibles for a conversation with two preeminent authors about their new business books. Alex Schultz is
He's preeminent. I'm a preeminent.
No, I don't think so.
You're both preeminent in your own ways. Alex Schultz is CMO and VP of Analytics at Meta and one of the most esteemed marketers in the business world today. Named one of the most influential CMOs in the world by Fortune magazine in 2024 and 2025, he is widely credited with helping grow Meta's user base to nearly 3.3 billion daily users globally. Or as the Financial Times noted in 2019, if you joined Facebook at any time over the past decade, Alex Schultz probably had something to do with it. Beyond his success at Meta, Alex's work in the digital marketing sphere has played a major role in shaping the way companies achieve growth in the digital era. His book, Click Here, The Art and Science of Digital Marketing, which is backwards, sorry about that, crystallizes his unparalleled experience into one essential Bible. Whether you work for a small startup or giant corporation, the book will tell you everything you need to know about using today's digital tools to get more out of your marketing budget and efficiently grow your business. From understanding channels to testing creative to measuring incremental gains, Click Here covers it all. Early readers of Click Here, including Sam Altman of OpenAI and CMOs of Fortune 500 companies like Expedia, DoorDash, Wayfair, and more, agree that if you want to market your business well, this is the book you have to read. You can get signed copies of Click Here through the link below. There it is. Also joining us is James Patterson, the most popular storyteller of our time and the creator of such unforgettable characters and series as Alex Cross, The Women's Murder Club, Jane Smith, and Maximum Ride. He has co-authored #1 best-selling novels with Bill Clinton, Dolly Parton, and Michael Crichton, and collaborated on #1 best-selling nonfiction as well, including The Idaho 4, Walk in My Combat Boots, and Filthy Rich. Patterson has told the story of his own life in the #1 best-selling autobiography, James Patterson by James Patterson.
Now, that was a tough sell.
It's probably hard to come up with that title, too. He's a recipient of an Edgar Award, 10 Emmy Awards, the Literarian Award from the National Book Foundation, and the National Humanities Medal. Disrupt Everything and Win, also backwards, sorry again.
It's disrupted, that's perfect.
It's his first business book. It takes on the most powerful force for change in the world today, disruption. Every day we are confronted with sudden turbulence at our workplaces and on the job market.
Like the shutdown of the government, like just for example, or tariffs, or whatever's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah.
I was going to keep it apolitical, but you said it, not me.
I'm not saying whether it's good or a bad thing. I'm not saying who's the fault. I'm just laying it out, the disruptions as they come.
Disruption is everywhere. And this book is about how to embrace and harness all that change as fuel for success in both our personal and professional lives. This advice is thoroughly researched, easy to follow, and easy to turn into lifelong habits. Whether you're an employee moving up the ranks, an entrepreneur bringing a new product to market, or an aspiring internationally best-selling author, this book shows how to be a positive disruptor and take back control of your future. James has also kindly signed copies of Disrupt Everything, available through the purchase link below.
Right down there. That's exactly right. Click now. Click here. Click now.
Click here.
Click frequently.
So
your friends.
If you have questions for the authors, drop them into the chat and we'll try to answer those as we go along. Alex, Jim, thank you so much for being here. Let's talk about your books. So first question, love to hear a little bit what made you both decide to write on these topics now.
Did we talk together same time?
Well, why don't we start with you, Jim?
Go ahead. My whole career, I've had two careers. I was in advertising. I was the youngest CEO of J. Walter Thompson, and that was all about positive disruptions. The day that I went there, I had no marketing courses, no advertising courses. I knew you had to present a portfolio. So I went with my portfolio to J. Walter Thompson. The next week I showed up with the second portfolio. The next week I showed up with the third portfolio. Total disruption. And they said, okay, let's hire this kid. And everything that I did there was just another disruption. When I took over the New York office, our London office was great. Our New York office was terrible. We couldn't hire people. And I put out I just did it once and then it got picked up over and over again. Right if you want work, 7 questions. And we hired, I think, almost 50 copywriters just from that one test. And the things were like sell telephone service to a Trappist monk, or here are the ingredients on the back of a can of beans, make it sound delicious. And what it would do is you could know right away whether the person could write, and more important, whether they could solve problems. Another disruption. Anyway, I like that. I'll talk about publishing disruptions later on, but that's the general idea. And then I was weirdly reading about Kant over the weekend, Emmanuel, and his thing about philosophy is it should be for the good of people, and this is for the good of people. This book, because it will take stress out of their lives, will make it easier for them to deal with negative disruptions like the shutdown. And also to move on with their careers, to make their teams work better at work, to if you're running a company, to make your mission heard. We also work with Franklin Covey, so we have the book and then we have a course which Franklin Covey does, which is a great course. We already have, I think, 7 Fortune 500 companies signed up, and the course doesn't even come out till November. At any rate, sorry, Alex. Blah 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 blah.
No,
yeah,
that's great. I'm just lucky to be doing this with you. Why did I do it? I did it, like, everyone keeps asking me for a book on, like, okay, cool, there's all this online marketing. Do you have a guide that can just help me do online marketing? And I never have one guide I can give them. I've always got a selection of books and then a couple of websites and maybe a YouTube video. But the idea was just like one book that could simply summarize, here's the basic best practices for how you get off the ground doing modern internet marketing today. Kind of in the ilk of, like, I used to buy everyone on my team Ogilvy on advertising because it's still very relevant to this day. If you want to sell a car, if you want to sell super glue, stick a car to a billboard with super glue. It's striking. It's still striking to this point. And so, like, there are basic things that are like timeless principles that work in marketing. How do you apply them to new channels? How do you use the new channels? That's why I wrote it, is just to be useful for people. And then I'm also a little sick and tired of everyone just saying negative things about online marketing. Like, sometimes people kind of treat marketing like it's a dirty word. And obviously you started your career very successfully in marketing, Jim. Like, I think marketing's awesome. I think, like, what it does is it connects people to the products and services that they love, that will make their lives better. I think that helps jobs because people get hired, because stuff gets sold. I think when people get jobs, people pay taxes. Taxes actually pay for the services that we all benefit from, whether it's roads or military or healthcare in the UK. Like, all of those different things are incredibly valuable, and they only exist when you've got a growing economy, which only happens when you've got growing businesses that hire people, and marketing is a big driver of that, and there is a positive to that. So, 1, I want to be useful, and 2, so many people whine about online marketing, and I think people like personalized ads. I think marketing is incredibly useful. I think growing the economy is useful, and I just wanted to say something.
The one thing I just want to add about that is I was in advertising, but I've been clean for almost 30 years.
Well, Alex, you talk a lot in the book about growth, and I think, growth and disruption are also often discussed sort of in the same breath. So I'm curious to hear your perspectives on whether these things go hand in hand or whether they can sometimes work against each other.
Are you talking to me or to Alex?
Why don't Alex, you?
Yeah, Alex, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, both. Right? Like, it's both, and there's no question. Like, disruption can be negative, disruption can be positive. And I think the thing that Jim does really well in this book is it talks about, okay, a disruption has happened, you're being disrupted, how do you respond to it? So, like, right now, our company, Meta, has been completely disrupted in 5 years. 5 years ago, every piece of content you saw on Instagram or Facebook came from someone you followed. Then TikTok came along. and modern AI systems came along. And now the majority of time spent on Facebook and Instagram is from someone you didn't follow, friend, join, like, whatever. Our business has been completely disrupted. Google is going through the same thing right now. The ChatGPT moment, the Gemini inserts at the top of Google in the one box, it's a total disruption of their business model. And you can either go, oh no, I've been destroyed, or you can respond to it and say, a disruption is happening. How do we change things? How do we get growth out of this? How do we make sure we're on the front foot? And I think that's the positive attitude you kind of have to have if you're going to succeed. And
or
actually,
if
Jim
you're going to
covers that really
survive.
well in his book.
If you're going to survive. And this goes from somebody working in a company to somebody running a company. And a lot of times it has to do with the mission statement, which has to change frequently. So what we try to do is to help people make sure that their mission statement is appropriate. And one of the things we also try to do is to get individuals to teach them how to create their own mission statement. What's your mission statement as a human being? And a lot of it with people is it's giving them, there's a what the hell's her name? Mel Givens. Blanking. She had just think about first steps, and she had some problems with her company and was sort of depressed about it, maybe drinking a little too much, according to her, she was saying. And she developed this thing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, make the call for the job opening. Just that very simple first step thing. It's very hard for people to take the first step. And that's one of the things that we try to do, make it easier for people, like right now, the shutdown, what can you do? Is it really appropriate for you? What's that first step? And then what's the second step? And then, depending on you as a human being, sometimes for some people, it's just, I want to be able to continually make that first and second step when I have to. Or sometimes, I have an idea for a new product, and that might require a lot of steps. So we're going to help you through that as well. So sometimes it's relatively simple, and sometimes it's complex, but the book is designed to help you no matter which way it is. And with so many companies, Hachette, who owns Little Brown, they brought in the U.S. some new people, and they had a new mission. For the mission to work, the sales department must disrupt the way they've been selling. The editors must disrupt the way they've been buying books. The receptionist might have to disrupt the way that person greets people and talks to people. Everybody, and insofar as people buy into the mission works. If you don't get buy-in, the mission will not work. And now Alex talks about this a lot in terms of the importance of teams, infrastructure, the team, that team that's going to make things happen. If they don't have a mission, and if they're not involved in the same mission, and you talk about that also, different missions inside companies. And sometimes it really get where, advertising won't work with marketing, won't work with sales. Well, that's not good.
Yeah, and it's really common. And I mean, for us, like the thing that I emphasize in my book is like, okay, how do you make everyone align when you want to change direction? You set a clear North Star. And the North Star goal isn't a metric, it's a thing you want to achieve. And then you line people up. And the other build I'd say on what you said is like, how do you respond to disruption? Well, a ton of it is seeing timeless principles. It's like, okay, AI search is coming along. Is it really that different to existing search or what happened to MapQuest when Google Maps came along? Not necessarily. How do you respond? Anyway, Talia.
Yeah, no, that's all really interesting. And you, obviously, Alex, like you have a really interesting and involved way of sort of measuring the results of all of the things that you're doing. And do you want to talk a little bit about that, sort of your approach to data and measurement?
Well, the first thing I'd say is, and actually this again pairs really well with what Jim's doing, is like if you need a data scientist and a microscope to figure out if you had impact, you probably didn't have impact. Like at least not impact that mattered. And so much of my job as head of analytics at Meta is like, guys, it's a fraction of 1%. Does it really matter? Like, can we actually focus on the big wins? So the first thing is like, just be really clear what is big enough to matter. The second thing for me is you have to be in a place where you're actually determining if what you did was incremental or everything would have happened anyway without your thing. So like you ran an ad campaign, did you sell more toilet roll? Did you get more bookings at your hotel? it's not creative if it doesn't sell. That's an Ogilvy on advertising saying, and like it's true to this day. And the old Wanamaker quote, right? 50% of my advertising is wasted. I just don't know which half. Like, look at incrementality. Did you actually make anything change? So do tests, do holdouts, do on-off tests, do matched market tests. If you can, do randomized control tests. And then the last thing on metrics is metrics try to describe a goal, but no metric perfectly describes a goal. There's this thing called Goodhart's law that is really fancy and long, but basically it says once a metric is associated with a goal, it stops being a useful metric because people game it. And it's very true. And so you must be clear. You have a goal, you have a metric. The metric is not the goal. Keep pulling back to the goal to make sure that people aren't deliberately or by accident gaming the metric. That's a quick answer. I could go on forever.
Yeah, and talking about sort of the resistance to this kind of change, I guess it's a question for both of you, but let's start with Jim, because you talk in the book about positive disruption. Where do you see the line between bold innovation and taking on too much risk or too much change at once?
I've weirdly, with all the disruptions that I've done, I've never considered any of them to be risky, honestly. And that might be my own limitation. I know, in the tech world, they tend to be a lot more interested in disasters than I ever was. To me, you did a disaster, they fired you.
Me too, honestly. And I wake up.
Yeah, I just, the failure thing was just never really part of my deal. But things happen that you can't have any control over. And we talked a little bit about that. And then it's a combination of limiting negative disruptions or how you react to them, what you can do. And sometimes I talk to President Clinton about this all the time. And it's harder for him to do than for me. But we both agree that if something comes up and we can't do anything about it, and it's a nice day, enjoy the nice day. If you can do something, do it. But and a lot of people will sit there, AI. I can't tell you how much bullshit I've heard about AI. It's ridiculous. I'll tell you one thing. I haven't heard nearly as much. But Alex, just in terms of where it can go in a positive way. Something in your book, which I love, that the notion, which is that notion of the audience of one. Tell them if you want to, if you feel like it. I think that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about marketing is just like sales scaled, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're trying to sell 1,000, 100,000, 1 million people at once on an idea. Like we're selling these glasses now, these Vanguard, beautiful Vanguard Oakley glasses, and
you can't get that down here. You can only get the books.
That's true. This link, just buy the book at this link. Click here. No, these glasses, like we're gonna have golf, we're gonna have running, we're gonna have Mbappe, the footballer, who's a brand ambassador for us on this stuff. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of sports where people use sunglasses. Like there's rowers, there's obviously people doing road racing, there's triathletes, there's paragliders, there's parasailers, there's all of these different people who use these glasses. And what you'd want to do is you'd want to have for each one of them in their setting a UK rower who rows in Cambridge on the Great Ouse. You'd want to have a custom thing that fits your brand portfolio, but is for that one person. They're like, oh, that's how it fits in my life. That is the future that AI enables, because you write the marketing brief and then the creative and targeting gives you the perfect piece of creative for each individual in the theoretical limit of what it's going to achieve. Now, it's not there right now, but you can see a path to getting there, and that's the audience of one. Yeah. Perfect creative, targeted. Perfect
I think that's one of the more interesting things I've heard about AI in terms of that would be that can happen in the future to some extent.
Yeah, that's the direction we're on.
So I was going to ask, and maybe this is connected to the AI conversation, but another question for both of you. I guess we'll start with Alex. What do you think is the next big change that will disrupt everything we know about marketing and business? It has to be more specific than AI.
Okay. I mean, the biggest change, Biggest change, I think, well, there's two. I think search and social are going to be completely disrupted again. And social is the number one marketing channel on earth by spend, and search is the number two. And so these are the two biggest marketing channels today by spend. Search is going to be disrupted, and you've got two questions you have to ask. Question number one is search going to become a paid for medium? Are people going to go into a paid version of ChatGPT, a Google One account where they're querying Gemini? And in that case, Gemini's just woken up, by the way. And in that case, they don't expect to see ads, because that would change everything if search becomes a paid medium with no ads. Question number two is, who wins? Is it Google? Is it OpenAI? We have a game. Anthropic has a game. Others have a game. Who is going to win? And I think that, given how important search has been, that's one. And then the second one is what you're seeing right now between us and OpenAI with their Sora 2 app and our Vibes product, where there's pure AI-generated content, some of it created by creators, some of it by AI without a creator in the mix. There will be audience of one in terms of entertainment as well, AI-generated content. That's going to happen. Who wins there is going to massively impact again, and how much time is spent there is going to massively impact what happens with social as a marketing channel. So those are the two areas I think very specifically AI in the next 5 to 10 years is going to change marketing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a futurist, so predicting the future. Here's one thing I will about the future. I'm just finishing a novel now with Mr. Beast, Jimmy Donnelly.
Yeah. And this is why you don't.
And I believe that will be the biggest book since Harry Potter, because he has an audience that's 5 times as big as Taylor Swift's.
Yeah.
And he really is a genius in terms of his ability to innovate, and his instincts are spectacular. So that's as far as I'll go into the future. That'll be next June.
Well, your audience is not small either, but that is very exciting.
When he told me that, I'm like, oh, you really get how to do modern influencer marketing. Just go and partner with the most important influencer.
I just have to help with the book on that one, and then stand back and let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Well, we only have a few minutes, and I am told that the lightning round is a big fan favorite. So if you're up for that, we're going to do 11 questions. We're going to try to do it in like under 2 minutes. Both will alternate between the two of you.
Let me give you one of my answers right off the bat.
Okay.
I'm going to repeat this several times. Next.
I thought you weren't a futurist. How are you predicting what the questions are going to be? Okay, well, we'll try to go fast so you don't have to.
I like chocolate or vanilla, things like that. Yeah.
that is not one of the questions. But a few of them are similar. All right, first one. We're going to do Jim, then Alex. Where were you born?
Newburgh, New York.
London, England.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Red.
One thing you need to have in your fridge at all times?
Ice cream.
Carpano Antica Formula Rosso.
So sophisticated.
Very sophisticated and specific. The most interesting person you've met recently?
Actually, Mr. Beast. Fascinating guy.
Oh, wow. That's a really good one. A guy called Hans Kronenberg, who's a specific SEO on menus, who did the most incredible work with AI prompting for video. I was just blown away.
Pet peeve?
People without open minds.
Lack of clarity in explaining things.
Favorite hobby? Writing and marketing don't count.
Golf.
Gardening.
Guilty pleasure TV show?
Slow Horses.
Oh, it's such a good show. It's filmed right outside my window most of the time. Stargate.
Guilty pleasure junk food?
Ice cream.
Chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders. Okay.
Grater's ice cream.
Okay. Last band you listened to?
Led Zepp. I listen to them every day.
Randomly, Bell and Sebastian.
Good one. Anywhere you want to
You don't
travel.
like Led Zepp? No, I'm.
I love Led Zeppelin.
I got a value
about
judgment
too
there
much.
from our supposedly. I know screw the 2 minutes. We don't care about that. Go ahead.
No, take me out. As many answers as you want. Where do you want to travel that you've never been?
South Africa.
Australia.
Cool. Okay, and lastly, what is your favorite thing on the shelf behind you?
Probably a flag I got from soldiers who served. I used to send a lot of books, still do, and they'll send these flags to me. So I think it's behind me somewhere. It is somewhere back there.
That's pretty amazing. This is a trowel from an archaeological group that I work with, and I have done a number of digs. I've dug on Sutton Hoo with this trowel. So this trowel.
Very cool. All right, well, we are at time. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Just a reminder that signed copies are available at the link in case you missed it there.
And don't forget your friends and your relatives. And there's at some point in the year, there'll be a Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate, all those good things.
Books make great gifts.
These books will actually help you all as business people, though, a lot.
That's the goal. Make people more successful. Be useful.
Yeah.
They're both useful, is my opinion.
Great. Well, thank
Like
you
the
so much
trowel.
for your time. And yes, just like the trowel.
Only useful for archaeology. This is a very small trowel.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. And
Thank you.
both
Thank you,
for
Alex.
your insights.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thanks, Talia.
Hey, this is John Acuff, New York Times best-selling author of 7 books and someone who's done a live signing. If you like the one you just watched, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's full of amazing authors having great conversations and signing books for viewers just like you. So make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching today.